Hi, this is Let's Discuss Soon after reading it. We decided to read and discuss the paper 2 hours ago. Then we'll discuss on the paper. So firstly, we will introduce ourselves. Please, Yota.
Hi, my name is Yota Kawashima. I'm doing research assistant in Japan.
Thank you, Yota. And I'm Ryoichi Watanabe, a PhD student at Kyoto University, Japan. So today's paper is the title is Electrophysiological Chronometry of Graded Consciousness during the Attentional Blink, written by Anna Eisenberg, Alexander Enge, Milena Labusky, Lasha Abdelrahman, published by the Cerebral Cortex and 2022. And firstly, I'll summarize briefly. So there is a controversial that the visual consciousness or consciousness emergent, the oral non-trend or graded or gradual trend, or depending on the stimuli or the process of level processing. And also, as a method or paradigm, the backward masking paradigm or task or the attentional blink paradigm is more often used. And recently, the backward masking paradigm study shows that by using the parametrical one, like the no. So using the perceptual awareness scale or something, so shows that the visual consciousness emergent gradual or graded, but there's a little study using the attention blink, and there it is not, and a little known how to say study using the attention blink shows the greatness of consciousness. So the authors examined the greatness of consciousness and the NCC by using the attention blink task. And also, at the neural correlation of consciousness, especially event-related potential of EEG, the visual awareness negativity like N1 or N2, and the P3V or late positivity RP is more known. However, there is a little study that examine the NCC is oral non-trend or graded trend by using the study using the attentional blink paradigm. And also, even if the study using backward masking paradigm, the result isn't congruent. But some research showed that the P3V, whereas P3V emergent like the oral non-trend, but the other study was not. So in this study, the authors examined the subjective visibility variation on the attention blink task and event-related potential ERP on the at the NCC. And the result shows that the lag of the attentional blink was large. The intermediate value, like in this study, they also used the perceptual awareness negativity. Perceptual awareness scale. It means that there are four response. So, and one is not see, and four is correctly seen, and 2 and 3 and the intermediate variation. So, if the intermediate variation rating is larger than the 1 and the 4, the the performance we can consider that the emergent process or consciousness is more graded. But if the variation 1 and 4 is more than the intermediate variation, and the performance is more than or non-trends than the graded. And also the result shows that the intermediate variation rate was higher than the arithmetic variations. And also, when the subjective visibility was higher, the performance of discrimination for target or the response time, the performance of the discrimination task was higher and the response time was less shorter. And also the result about the ERP shows that only P1 was not related to the subjective visibility variation, but there are the significant relation between the subjective visibility and N1 and N2 and P3. It means that if participant responds, the target was more, if participant response, the target was more vivid or can correctly see, the N1 and 2 P3's activation was large than the participants' subjective visibility is low. And also these findings suggest that the visual awareness negativity, including N1 and N2 and the P3, is related to subjective visibility, and there is a correlation. So when the subjective visibility is more larger, the activation of these ERP also larger. This is my brief summary, and please add some detail or your question, Yota.
Okay, thank you, Yuichi. So I think this study is, kind of clear. The aim is clear. They want to, see whether the EEG and behavioral responses are in a graded manner or all or nothing manner in an inattentional brain paradigm. And then they confirm that behavior responses are graded or is modulated as a function of visual visibility rating. And also they found some kind of temporal emergence of gradual increase in activity in EEG ELP components. So yeah, so they only saw the graded increase in N1, N2, and P3 component, but not in P1 component, which is considered to related to low-level processing, low-level visual processing. Yeah, that's the main claim of this paper. Yeah, I think the result is clear.
Yes, yes.
Also, the aim of this study is also clear. So, yeah, in terms of yeah, I mean, basically, no, questions regarding the, this experimental paradigms or data analysis and so on.
Yes, okay. So I also understand. So this study is so understandable. So
yeah,
let's discuss.
Yeah.
Freely.
So in the discussion section, they mentioned that they can't test which component is related to consciousness or which component is unconscious, something like that. But then what they said is only, or what they claim is that we see this kind of gradual increase. So if some theories of consciousness claim only like a all or nothing, conscious perception, then that aspect should be updated or something like that. That's something discussed in the discussion.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. But yeah, they also mentioned that you can see the kind of sharp increase in the classification performance or the behavioral performance, the behavioral task performance between non-seeing versus slight impression of face. So some may, claim that, okay, this is the evidence of all, nothing, pattern of processing or conscious processing. And I don't, and of course they claim that, we can, invalidate that claim by, showing their ERP increase, gradual increase, and also, they still see some, gradual decrease in reaction time, and also they say that, they see some increase from, visibility rating 2 to 4. So slight impression to, completely or seeing completely or something like that. But, I don't know. It's very difficult to say, whether the consciousness is graded or all nothing.
See.
So, and also like graded. I don't know.
Yeah, so I see. I agree with you.
So the gradual perception means like is it something to do with like a transparency or something? So maybe you can, if you use some, graphical tool on your computer, you can change the transparency, the alpha value. from 0 to 100%.
Yeah.
And then if you choose 0, yeah, of course it's, no images, but as you increase, the image will appear gradually. So is that something they call the gradual perception?
So for measuring aspect, right?
Or the
I see.
statement that the conscious perception is gradual. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, and according to this paper and the other paper, I think we use the sequential responding shows that the binomial result one. So sequential one. So when participants do the response by using the sequential one, the result I think tend to show the oral non-trend, and also in this study, Sargent and Duan, the 21 points measurement, and also this shows that the non or oral non-trend, right? So I think I agree with you that sequential one is fit for examining the greatness or oral non-trend. But I think this method shows that the trend tend to show the oral non pattern.
Okay, so I think I can clarify what I wanted to say. So my point is that, if you add more, scale, like a not 4, and you said that, the previous study used the 21 scale, perceptual awareness scale. But, if you add more, then I kind of feel like, there will be some, non-linear increase, but like a threshold. And then after that, you will see the gradual increase, something like that. So the first, like a 2 nothing, and then step, and then after that, the gradual increase, something like that.
I see. So there is a gap between the not seeing and the seeing, but seeing means that including grasp or most clearly, regardless of these graduation of seeing, but there is a gap, not seeing and seeing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. I understand.
And I think that's kind of almost impossible to test whether there will be some kind of, step function like increase.
Yeah. I see.
Because, of course, this ELP result shows that some, nice gradual increase. But, we can't see whether, or the difference, or if we want to investigate whether the conscious perception is really all or nothing or not, then we need to find the point where we, have 0, almost no, almost or the completely no phase or no conscious perception. And then just I don't know how much increase it will be, but in terms of the amplitude in ELP, but I don't know. I don't say that, the gradual component will not exist, right? Because, after seeing phase, of course, yeah, there will be some gradual, perception or visibility increase. But
I see.
I don't know how we can, or whether whether it's possible to, test that or not.
I see.
So if we, think that, then maybe, we can't say that, based on this, result, the theory that claim that consciousness is something to do with, or is kind of, emerge in an all or none fashion is invalidated or something like that.
I see, I see. But,
yeah.
But also, as the authors mentioned in discussion, that I think also these results depend on the stimuli or judgment difficulty.
Yeah. So yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
So the judgment of the how to say, in this study, the participant answered the face is man or woman, right? So gender discrimination.
Yeah. So the objective, measurement, the behavioral task is to test whether, the face is woman's face or man's face.
Yeah. I see.
So I don't know, like the previous paper by the other, researchers into 2005, the 21 scale, PAS on letter. And, in the discussion of this paper, they mentioned that, again, the difference of stimuli or the stimuli will be important to determine this kind of, all or nothing versus, graded, because the word is kind of, or it's, kind of reasonable to think that, the word perception is kind of all or nothing, because, if it's meaningless, words or just a, combination of letters, then can be, uninterpretable, and then people tend to say that I did not see anything or something like that. But, in face, can see that it's kind of continuous, or even though if we combine two faces from different people, we can still perceive it as a face. So it's appropriate to use face if we want to see this kind of gradual, increase of visibility. So yeah, but
I see, because I see. So the judgment of face was not too difficult, because like in this study's performance, visibility 2 or 3 or 4, almost higher performance, right? So no, if the enough time to recognize, enough time to recognize, we can easily to detect it.
But yeah, yeah. I don't know about this, all or nothing versus gradualness argument.
Yeah. I see. But normally, if to examine the trend, examined or between or unknown and greatness or gradualness, normally we are focused on the intermediate value rating and like the moderate trend, more this model is near the binary or non-binary or something, and the relationship between the visibility rating and the accuracy rating, according to, I think when they, according to like the 20, 40 or 50 paper, reviewed the level of processing study. I see.
So yeah. So again, my point is just, I agree that, there will be some kind of gradual component, but it does not, or that does not say that, there will no, all or nothing, pattern in conscious perception. It can just, coexist. That's what I feel. And that's part. It's impossible to, I feel it's impossible to test. But yeah, but anyway, that's what I feel after reading this paper. And then overall, I just, the result is clear that, there is gradual component. I will, note against that part. So yeah, but anyway, that's my, kind of comments or that's my comment on this paper.
Yes, I also agree with your comment. And so, but I'm wondering that the P3 result in this study, P3 result were PS3 was graduated manner, right? But the other study or previous result shows that P3B is a component or marker of all unknown. So, and also visual awareness negativity or N1 and N2 is gradual or graded related to the visual conscious awareness or the stimulus intensity. Yeah, I agree. And I read the other paper that conclude which is congruent of this result. But yeah, P3 normally, so according to GNWT or something, the P3B is a marker for like the global workspace achievement or unknown or central brain activity.
So you are expecting that you will see all or nothing pattern only in P3, according to the global workspace theory, but this result says that, you will not see that pattern in P3.
And so clearly.
Yeah, which is surprising for you. Okay.
But it is important result, and then we can reconsider or rethink the theory or NCC.
Temporal emergence.
Or for depend on the analysis, like the one visibility, relationship visibility and activation. And I think there's not so many studies are focusing on the relationship between visibility and the amplitude. Or the other study using backward masking, and the authors also cited the Delta et al. 2019 also shows I think only the higher order task, higher or means the judgment, the judgment of the number means the target number was more than 5 or less than 5 or something. It's related to the P3 only, but low level, like the color judgment, is not related to P3. So I think so NCC or P3 also depending on the stimuli or level of processing or something.
Okay. Okay. So maybe kind of related to what I'm going to say now, but I kind of feel interested in like why the difference between P1 versus other ELT components happens, the underlying mechanism generating these kind of differences, and that may be related to what you mentioned, maybe the category, the stimulus category, or I don't know, but yeah, I more interested in that part. How or what makes the differences between P1 versus N1 and 2 P3. They mentioned, or the authors mentioned something in the discussion part, but the mechanism underlying this is unclear. So kind of interesting if you can, say something to it. And then if we know the mechanism, then maybe we can say that, okay, this should be gradual, not the all or nothing.
I see.
Yeah, but anyway, I do not have any idea how to, investigate the mechanism to generate this kind of patterns. So yeah, I just don't know.
But normally, I think P1 is just the input or process of visual stimuli.
Yeah.
And related to input information, not to the consciousness or not to the more detail about the detail for information.
Yeah, so yeah, that is fine. If P1 is just reflecting, low level processing. Okay. So in that sense, the amplitude of this component will be just, constant or just the same across the different visual visibility ratings. But by receiving that information, I don't know, the low level processing, then how the higher order, brain region process to generate this kind of gradual, differences between visibility rating. But anyway, I do not have any ideas, so maybe that's just again my comment. So, but that's basically it from me.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say?
Lastly, I have one comment or one thinking that how about the no report paradigm using this? So if normally no report paradigm shows that the P3 activation is less or nothing. So if we will do the same experiment but with no report, how about P3 is activation pattern change is for me it's so interesting. So, but because P3 is related to like the post consciousness or action, so attention or action for report. So if we will do the no report paradigm, P3 to activation is all or nothing or like something like the variation or grad activation will be decreased, but this how to say this graded pattern also happen or not or something.
Yeah, I think I said that I did not have any comments about this paper, but I now remember that I felt the same thing as you, Yuichi. So what happens if we do this with no report paradigm? But the difficulty is that in the no report paradigm, we will not get this visibility rating, right? So we can't classify or sort this brain activities based on visibility rating. So one possible approach is that you use some kind of just first do this task, and then the second session no task, and then we already have this kind of patterns, and also we can, if we have some kind of machine learning techniques or something to classify brain activity, and then output some visibility at the prediction of visibility rating, and then just just ask the participant whether the predictive visibility rating is consistent with what the participant feel, what the subject feel, and then we can again do the sorting of or sorting this brain activities based on visibility rating and see whether we can still see this gradual increase in the no report paradigm. But I don't know whether it's possible or not. So that's basically it for me. And you said that was your last comment.
Yes.
If you do not have anything, maybe we can wrap up discussion here. So no comments, questions? Okay, then see you next week. Bye-bye.